Hello YouTube. Just wanted to update you on a Moen faucet that I replaced. I did a video about this about 2 years ago. This is the replacement, and of course, as predicted, several years later the cartridge got all gummed up, and the new thing that I'm experiencing is that I'm getting leaks from the seam here. Now, normally it probably just needs a new gasket. I'd remove this thing. There's probably some mineral deposits in here. You clean it all up. You get a new gasket and maybe some lube, and it should do it. But I called Moen because, of course, they guarantee their products, and they shipped me another faucet, which I'll get into in a moment. But let me just show you what happens. Well, of course, now it's not doing it. Let me see if I can replicate the issue. Okay, so it's wet over here. You can see that. Okay, I don't know. It was leaking out. Once in a while, it just starts gushing out of here, and it wet everything. So we put this piece of paper towel around it. Anyway, so I asked for this particular model, and they didn't have it, I guess, because what showed up in the mail was this. It's obviously not the same handle. You see, it's straight here. It comes up from the side of the handle, right? You can see it there. It comes up from the side, and this one is curved up on top. Okay. But Moen, of course, you buy it for looks, buy it for life, and that's their guarantee. Now, this does change things up a little bit from the previous times I serviced the faucet. For example, last time all I had to do was disassemble the top part here and change some parts. Of course, now I have this thing, which means I got to change the entire faucet, including this plate here, the entire thing plus that, which I don't know about my counter how that's going to work. We'll have a look. So let's open this up and see what comes in the box. So we have Manor 87425, which is, I guess, the replacement for this model, because they did get informed that that's the one I wanted, but I guess they don't make it anymore. So here we are, and in the box, this is the new faucet. This, I believe, is the plate, right, that goes here, and it looks like about the same size, although I'm gonna have to check because I really don't want to have to drill new holes into my counter, but I'm assuming, or at least I hope, that they're a standard size. This is the instruction manual right here, and just some more information, various registration information. Okay, so this particular faucet, now as you'll notice, it comes with this thing and some mounting hardware that basically clamps this to the countertop. I guess it would thread onto here and attach. I'll have to see exactly how these work. Okay, and then this, and the pipes that come off of this, or I guess the tubes. Tubes are this flex type. Okay, but and they come with this standard connector. Hopefully that will fit my existing pipe, which I'll have to look at in a moment. So if we go under the counter here, and excuse the mess, let's see if I can turn the light on. I might have to pause the video and get the flash going here because I can't see anything. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. I had to turn the flash on. So this is the existing sink. You can see there's been a little bit of leakage in the past. I'll try to focus on that. There we go. Okay, it comes in with some kind of weird horseshoe shaped mounting fixture. There are the 3 holes. Okay, and but the pipes that come out here, this is solid copper, not a flexi tube, and it connects to these here. It looks like about the same size fitting, which means that I should hopefully, once I turn these off so I don't get water coming out, I'll be able to open these up, take out this stuff, and here's the hot and cold. Okay, and I should be able to connect it to my the new one without having to change this. I really don't want to start changing hardware here. If I can just unscrew this, that would be ideal. And then I don't know whether these pipes were done by the plumber or whether they previously came with the faucet. I don't know why we have copper here, but that's what we have. Or it could be that the original ones didn't come with it, or maybe it was attached. We'll find out once I remove the old one how it's connected up there. Okay, so that's where we're at with this. A little bit bigger job than I expected, but don't have much of a choice. And I'm hoping, get you in focus here again, I'm hoping that this faucet is redesigned so that it doesn't create the same kind of leaks like the old one did. I don't know whether the other one had some kind of issue. Maybe there's a design issue with this, or if it's prone to happen also with this one. Because if it is, then other than just the model being different, I don't know why I would need the other one. But let me just quickly look through the brochure. Okay, one handle kitchen faucet, and we should have instructions here. Okay, now I don't have this part. I have the one with just this. Okay, above sink, below sink. Okay, so again, I hope to have the holes drilled into the same spot, and here I would install that piece, and then everything will pass through. Underneath the sink, I should be able to mount my hardware and fixate the faucet to the counter. That's underneath the sink. Okay, looks like some E goes on first. It's a washer, a mounting nut. F goes on over the hoses, and I thread the mounting nut onto the faucet body, so that goes round and round and round this thread here. And then there's some screws that stick out. I'm not sure what they are for, but I tighten G, which are Tighten mounting screws. So I guess once the nut goes out, then I tighten those, and it connects in, and it tightens the nut up so maybe it doesn't turn. Okay, and then I should able to check movement. If I can move this back and forth without the whole thing turning, then I'm good. Okay, and it looks like there may be something else here. Side spray installation. Okay, I don't have a side spray, so we don't have to install that. That's for the side spray, which we don't have. Okay, that's for the side spray with the hose. Again, now below the sink, you can see that's for the one that goes to side. since I don't have that, I'm just going to basically be mounting my two feed lines, the hot and cold water, to those things I showed you under the sink. And that's it. Should hopefully work. That's the aerator, I guess, that you put on if you need to. And that's it. So there you have it. Okay, hopefully it will be an easy job, and I'll take some footage as I do it and see how my progress goes. All right. Okay, so I'm ready to remove the tap, or the faucet I should say. These are some of the tools I got ready. I'm going to need this to unscrew the nuts at the below where I connect this to. This screwdriver. I also need a screwdriver here to open up this thing, because I believe I need to take off all this stuff here to pull everything out. So I have that there. Although I may just be able to unscrew the nut below, and this whole assembly will come up. And then Allen keys in case again I have to get in here. But I'm going to try first just to go under the sink, loosen up the mounting bolt that holds this whole thing down to the counter, and see if this entire thing lifts up. I've turned off, of course, the water to the tap, and I have to unscrew both of those too, because otherwise I can't pull this up because it's with rigid pipes underneath. So I'll let me just turn on the flash if I can. Unfortunately, I can't do that while I'm recording, so give me 1 second. Okay, I've turned on the light, you can see. So under here, in order to remove it, I'm going to take this off, and I have to loosen this nut here, and all this will come down. I'm going to have to loosen this one here, and I'm going to have to loosen this here, because this is solid, and have everything pull up. Unless I can cut it, but I don't know if I want to cut it right now. I'm not sure I even have a cutter. There's, of course, water's gonna all drip out of there. Here, I turned all these off, so we don't have anything coming out. Okay, so let's give that a go, and I'll let you know how it goes. All right, so I've made some progress. First of all, I got myself a little handy light here, which it's like a dollar store thing here. Very useful. Uses 3 AA's. They're rechargeable, so I can use this over and over. It illuminates things nicely. So I basically removed this pipe that used to be inside of here, okay, and this one here that used to be in there. And in order to do that, I actually had to get another couple tools. I got this wrench, and I used this one. And the reason I got this wrench is to create some counter torque here. I had to close this up here in order to turn this nut. If I didn't hold this in place while I twisted the other way, I was worried that I would twist this thing off here. Okay? So anyway, you can see the water beating up there. I think this faucet here is not entirely 100% good. That one here looks dry. You can see there's no water beating up there, but this one is filling up even though I closed it. So I think it's just a slow drip. So I'm gonna have to work fast because I don't want, it's relatively good shape down here. It's not too wet, but I don't want any more stuff leaking here. Okay. So next thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to dismantle this thing here. And I just noticed the design of the other one is different because the other one has doesn't have the things coming out the sides. The other faucet, all of this stuff comes down through the middle. So I hope that hole is big enough in the middle of the counter. I mean, it does look like there's holes here in the fixture. Probably could have allowed these to come through, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to open this up next,
and that's to avoid having to open the top. I'm hoping just to be able to pull this thing up straight with everything. I'll just straighten out these copper pipes and it should slide out. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so I unscrewed this from here. It just basically was on here, and I loosened it and I removed it. Now I have this piece here, which looks like it just comes down. That's like it's got like a spacer. You see? Try to focus there. Okay. So now this looks like it's clear, as far as I can tell, to slide out. So we're gonna try this now and see what happens if this just lifts right up. Let's focus. Okay, and as I mentioned before, I would have some trouble because my wires are bent. I'm going to try to do this with one hand here because the phone. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we are. So there's the faucet, and there's the pipes coming out. You can see the whole thing there, and we can now see through our counter, and it's a disgusting mess. Oh my god, I never realized how horrible this is. Of course, this is, what is this, particle board garbage laminated crap, which is disgusting. I don't know whether that chipped when they were drilling holes or whatnot. It's quite disgusting looking. I'm surprised. Well, this material tends to warp over time, and the laminate starts to bubble because what happens is as the wood gets wet, it expands, and this stuff is just, yeah, disgusting. But that's what the home came with, and until we upgrade one day, that's gonna have to be it. So anyway, I'm gonna clean all of this crap up here, and in a few minutes hopefully we'll try to fit in the other one, which should, I hope, just completely cover this without interfering with anything. It's kind of close to the sink here, so I hope it's not too close to the edge here, and everything should be able to fall through this hole, and I hope that's a standard size, because I really don't want to have to make that any bigger if I don't have to right now. So we'll catch up in a few minutes once I clean this up. Okay, I just wanted to show you what came out from this area here. It is pretty disgusting. I don't know what this is and how it became so thick. I mean, look at this. I don't even want to touch it, but it's very, very big. I don't know if that's like rotten pieces of wood mixed with soap, mixed with, I don't know what. I mean, it's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. Mineral deposits maybe from leaks underneath the actual thing, because here you have it under here, right? I mean, there was space, so if stuff did leak from under here, it would have built up, corroded, and got under. And in addition to that, the counter, you can't really appreciate it maybe from this angle, but it is a little bit warped here. It's slightly curved. It's not flat anymore. So the wood under here did get a little bit moist, and it became thicker. But hopefully that shouldn't interfere with the plate, the new one that's going to mount here. So we're going to try that next. Once I clean up this mess a little bit more. I don't like to see this at all. Okay, and I'll bring in the new thing, and we'll try to place it in here and see how it looks. Okay. Okay, so I brought up this and the plate. This would fit, of course, somewhere like this, and so it looks like we lucked out here. At least they're standard sizes. Now it's curved a bit. I don't know if that's normal, but it does have a little bit of a curve to it, and I'm not sure whether that's normal or not. There is a gasket here. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a, try to zoom in. Okay, this is like a little, feels like a windshield wiper blade, you see? It's got the little gasket all around, okay? And so that should come up against here, and when you tighten this down, it'll kind of squash itself flat, and that'll take care of anything, hopefully any leaks from underneath. And then this is the chrome cover. I'll open this up carefully. This should fit on top and cover the whole thing and seal it. I'm going to have to focus here. I'm doing this with one hand, so bear with me. It looks very nice and shiny. So you can see the camera there. Okay. Now I don't think this has any specific direction. It looks like it's symmetrical. It can go either this way. Same with this plate. So that would fit over here like so. Okay. And you can see what I mean about that gap here is very small. There's probably a bit of play here anyway. But and then this, of course, with all of its stuff, should slip through here. I should be able to put that through here. Okay, there's one hose, and then the other. Okay, I've got the thing balanced on my shoulder right now. I just feed this through. Good. And there it goes. Okay. So that's the new faucet. Okay, it's a little bit simpler. I don't need those two holes on the side anymore. They're kind of a waste. I guess the old design required them, the new one doesn't. If I now clamp this down, now this is not all the way in, obviously. I have to really clamp it down. And then underneath here, if we go under the sink again, you now see that the bottom, we're going to screw the nut onto that. I'll show you a video of that once I get to it. And of course, these are the hoses which should fit on to here. Okay, they're the same size. See? They just clamp on. It's a little bit easier now. I don't have those solid pieces. They're easier to move and open. And this is labeled hot. So I got to make sure I put this on the hot one, which is this, because it's red. And this one is cold. Okay, and I can see this is this beating up? No, it's not beating, not really. This one is still beating up because it is, as you can see, still leaking because I can't seem to shut this off fully. So I'll put some paper towel under there so I don't get too much water dripping as I do this. But there you have it. So let me see if I can get this thing mounted properly and I'll continue the video. Okay, just a quick note. When you mount this in, you'll notice that there's a flat over here on this side of this copper part of the faucet. That flat right there, okay, lines up with the flat here, and on the other side the flat lines up there. Because when you put it in, you might notice if you put it in just quickly like this and you try to get it down, that it doesn't go down all the way. Okay, so you've got to turn this till that 7400 that's written there. You can focus in on it. Yeah, that has to be right at the back. So you just turn this there and it falls down. Okay, and that will also, you'll notice when that happens that your faucet will turn this way and will turn this way and it stops. It's limited. Okay, and the middle is right there. And so that's one. The second thing is, we'll get that in there in a moment, it asks us to put these screws into this mounting nut first. So I'm just getting it ready, and that's going to go in here, okay, as you can see, and then we'll get underneath the sink. Let's get this in here. Go underneath the sink, and the first thing we'll do is get this washer to go up and then this mounting nut will be turned around and will go up as well, and then right at the end when it's up against this, we then tighten each of these further, and it will press this mounting nut firm against this plate, which will probably finish tightening it even more. Okay, so let's just look at the manual here and see where we're at. Okay, so this is the step we're at here. Okay, we put the washer in first. From underneath the sink, slide washer E and mounting nut over the hoses. Okay, thread mounting nut onto faucet body A. So it's going to go up. You'll notice that the mounting nut goes after the washer. That'll turn. With the screws in place, it'll go up to there, and it'll appear like this. See, there's the washer up there, and there's the mounting nut around it. At that point, you just check the movement control. Okay, it should turn all around without turning, and it says here tighten mounting screws G, that's those, evenly until faucet assembly is tight. A faucet is provided with 3 hoses as shown. The outlet hose must be facing the wall. Okay, well, we don't have 3 hoses. So let's go ahead and get these things done under the sink. Now, I may have trouble doing this with one hand because I've got to, first of all, we have to thread the hoses. So I've got to get this hose, these hoses to be together like this. Okay, and again, it's hard to do this with one hand. We'll get this washer on both, okay, and then the mounting nut with the screws down, of course, through both. Okay, and now all of this gets slid up here. Okay, sorry, I can't show you this better. Okay, and now if I can get this started, it'll be much easier. Okay, there we go. Okay, so our washer's up there. This is now going up, and round she goes till we get it all the way up to the top. Okay, we're gonna try to tighten this nut as much as possible. Okay, first, and then use those screws to do a little bit extra tightening at the end as an additional. It sort of locks this thing in place better. Okay, that's in. All right. So now this is still very loose, as you can see, right? It's not tight at all. So we still have a ways to go. For example, I gotta turn this more. That's as much as I can do by hand, but I will do this more using a wrench. Okay, and then go in and tighten those. Let's see again. It's a little bit better, still loose. All right, so just give me a few more minutes here without using the phone, and I will get that seated in place. Okay. Okay, so at this point, I've turned this around as much as possible, and it's pretty tight. You'll notice here that it doesn't really move. I can turn this, and this part here feels pretty solid. Okay, the base is pretty solid. But you can see, let's zoom in here, you can see that the wood is a bit expanded there, and you'll notice very clearly, see the wood here, that there's no gap between the washer and the nut. But now we're going to get this screw tightened, and you'll notice
when it bottoms out on the washer, lo and behold, it's going to start spreading the plate and the nut apart. So that's, I go around with this thing, and I'm doing this with the left hand. Sorry, I go around, and here, I'll just switch hands. Basically, sequentially tightening them in a, one after the other. There's one back here, okay, and I'm getting a feel for the tightness, okay, and as we keep doing this, you just go around a little by little, and just, might not want to go too crazy here, but you could potentially rip something. But if you look up here, you'll notice the gap forming between the plate. So try to focus on this. You see it's opening up there, okay? And you want it reasonably tight, but not crazy tight, because again, if I keep doing this, I'm not sure what I'll be doing to the wood here. If I'm going to be ripping something, I'm not too confident about the strength of whatever's left here. If this plate was bigger, I'd feel better, but it's not very wide compared to the hole. It's only a little bit wider, and I can't trust whether the wood here is already getting too rotten. So, and I'm happy with the tightness of the faucet as it is, so I'm not going to go crazy. So once I finish that, the last thing to do would be to hook up the hoses. I may put a bit of Teflon tape around this just to ensure there's no leaks. We'll tighten them up and see how it goes. Okay, so I've threaded the washers on here, or not the washers, the nuts that are for these hoses. They're very long, but I guess that's it's to fit all situations. The other one as well. You've noticed I've used some Teflon tape around these, and what you want to do is when you thread it, you want to wrap the Teflon tape in the direction of the thread, so that when you turn it, you're going in the direction of the Teflon, not the opposite way. Hopefully this one is not going to be an issue here. I tightened it up pretty well. There's just a little bit extra hanging out there. In any case, I'll check for leaks over the next few days. I've cleaned everything up very nicely. So what I'll do is I'll leave it out overnight, and we're going to check to see if there's anything maybe dripping at all or any wetness. After, I'm going to just dry everything up really well here. I've had these types of faucets leaky on me before, but on the side, not from here, but like this opening here. The valve, gasket or whatever is in there loosens up. Okay, but it's dry as a bone at this point. There we go.
All right, and we'll go up here, and I've tested it. It works very nicely. Hot water. This is cold. No issues at all. Pours out nicely. There's my old one. And there you have it. That's an installation of a Moen warranty replacement faucet. Again, this is already the second or maybe even the third time that I have changed this. The first time Moen sent me a cartridge only. So basically I dismantled this thing, put in the new cartridge, and closed it all up. The second time they sent me more stuff, because the first, this one here, if you look at my first video, the first faucet part here was all crudted and crusty and full of mineral deposits. And now the third time, I'm not sure, maybe if they have a record that, and that's their protocol, but now it's the third time that I have called them in the last 10 years or so. And this time, perhaps just either they would have sent me another one of these, maybe just a cartridge, or it could be that they ran out of this model, they discontinued it, or maybe they found that there was a design flaw and they no longer wanted to produce this because it was constantly causing issues with leaks. So they sent a replacement which seems to fit very closely. It's identical. It fit exactly, the plate fit exactly everything. I didn't have holes here though, because now everything comes through the middle. unlike this other model, where as you can see, the pipes are coming up and they feed in through the side. Okay, through the side. This new model comes with hoses that are flexible, makes it a lot easier to install. This thing would have required cutting, because if these things have different lengths, you would have need the pipe cutter. As you can see, there's some extra bits here. Okay, there's a little like a I forgot the name of this thing. It's a ferrule, I guess it's called, that goes around the pipe. I would have had to cut this to size, and I think that's, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like a plumbing compound that they use to seal this. It's like Teflon, but it looks like it's painted on or something. Anyways, here there is the new model. Okay, it's called Manor 87425, and their motto basically says, "Buy it for looks, buy it for life," and that's basically boils down to the fact they warranty these for the life of the product. So therefore, as long as you have this, I didn't buy this originally. It was installed in the house, but because it's Moen, I got it replaced, and they asked some questions, but basically within a few days it got shipped out, and I received it within about a week, and they just sent me a full box, totally new replacement. Takes a little bit of effort on the user's part. You know, they're not going to come to your house and install it for you. But if you're handy and you hopefully watched this video and learned a little bit, it's not too difficult to do. You should be able to get going pretty quickly. In my last video, I showed the just changing this part. Now you see the entire thing being changed, and we have a working faucet, no issues, which I hope will last a few more years than this old one did without having any issues. Again, I hope that it was a design flaw that they fixed. This one goes all the way around. Okay, I don't know if that was the case with this one. This one was limited. It would have positioning over to one side, and it would stop, and I think you can see that in the other video, and then it would go the other way and stop. This will not go all the way around. This one, if you go too far, you will flood your kitchen. It doesn't have a limit, so be careful. They don't always do that. Some of them have a lock that only lets it go 180 degrees. So that's just something I quickly noticed, and I believe this one did not do that, because I would have remembered. This one does. Okay, but there you have it. Okay, thanks again for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy it. And if it helps you, again, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my videos. And thank you for watching. Take care.